Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm recording pretty early in the morning, but that's fine. The only thing that I want to do before we start is essentially just open all of these and then immediately start the video. If I get a Crescent Ghost Rider card, White Fox card, or which one was the other one? The Marvel Zombies card, because I also can get those from here. Then I'm keeping it, the rest is fodder, so let's just see what we get. Luna card, okay, and Black Widow card. This one is not bad actually, but I'm not gonna keep these. So now we have 3 fodder cards. Alright, so this video is basically made for just new players or returning players that basically forgot about the game. I'm basically just gonna explain what a proc is, what a mini rage is, what a rage is, how these things work, and how you can optimize using them. So I'm just gonna have to choose a character. So for example, Sharon Rogers. I don't really recommend you getting her, but she is one of those characters that are very proc friendly. And I believe I also have a proc on her. Yes. So when someone says that they're using a proc, that means that they have an obelisk or a CTB, like a CTB of energy, a CTB of destruction. Those two have procs on them. And the way this works is that when you're attacking, you have hits on your skills. And if one of those hits triggers this proc, which is a 10% chance of activating on every single hit, so if you have 10 hits, then it has a 100% chance. Well, it's still RNG, but it's likely to appear. So the more hits, the better. And it increases damage by 160% for one attack. That means that if I just head into the skill preview, and just give me a second here. So the proc, no, it does not have the proc here. So the proc will trigger if I pressed 3. So now the proc triggered. Now this attack is 160% stronger. And if I do 3 and then 5, then that's stronger because the proc actually gets passed on. So you get the buffs from 3 and the hits from 5. I don't know if I explained that well enough, but let me just show you what I mean. Alright, so I did forget how to play Sharon Rogers and I forgot to test it. But this is not the playstyle for Sharon Rogers, so please do not memorize these combos. I'm just pressing buttons randomly. But I just wanted to show you how a proc works. So up here on the left, you can see this. This is the proc I was talking about. And you will see that if this thing turns green, this grating, if it turns green, then I hit the proc. If it does not turn green, then I did not. Oh, I just have to go back. So now I will press 3, then 5, then 4, very fast. So the proc triggers on 4. So 3, 5, 4, and the proc triggered. You see that it's green. And after it is done, it will go back to gray. Now it has a very short cooldown, so you can press it again. But if I press another skill after the proc triggered, the proc disappears. Because I do 3, 5, 4, wait for it to hit, and then do 2, and the proc is gone. That's it. So you want to press as many skills before the proc, and then when the proc hits, it will be 10 times as stronger or something like that. But if you miss the proc, it will be just a regular skill. That's like if you did not have a proc at all. But the thing with this is, you have to use proc-friendly characters. And the term proc-friendly, it means that a character can proc. It's like characters like Star-Lord. Or who do new players use? Give me a second here. Who's proc-friendly? Alright, so I recommend you guys to not use Black Panther, but he has a pretty fun rotation that I also know. So all you have to do in this combo is delay cancel 3, then 5, then 4. And I missed that completely, so let me just retry that. So 3, 5, 4. So if you can instant cancel or delay cancel the skills with the first 2 skills not doing any hits, then the character is proc friendly. So you see that while I press those 2, there's no hits until the 5 hits. So you do 3, 5, no, I missed that again. 3, 5, 4. Now the first 2 did not hit, and the 4th, give me a second here to process this. So the first 2 did not hit, and the last one hit. So the proc activates on the last one. That's essentially it with procs. And it can be a regular proc, it can be a CTP of energy, if I can find it, CTP of energy. This also has a... no, this does not have a chance of appearing, this is always. So this can happen every single rotation. And the CTP of destruction, which also does not have a chance to activate, it always activates. So that's very nice. Those 2 CTPs are pretty good for some proc-friendly characters like Black Panther. But the CTP that you're gonna see the most, and this might come to a surprise for some of you, but probably not for a lot of you, is the CTP of Rage. Regular Rage, Mighty Rage, Brilliant Rage, all of them are really good. They're the primary CTP that you would use for, where is it? Alliance Battle. Extreme and Legend both use Rage as their primary CTP, because it's just so good. And this CTP is also good for Robust Legend, but you cannot use this CTP in any PvP game mode. I mean you can, but it's really not recommended because it does not provide any meaningful buffs to a PvP character. And I'm saying that Strange is probably the best one for the CTP, because he is new player friendly. I mean, not that new player friendly, but he's really strong and not as crazy expensive as a native tier 2 like Gene, or a native tier 2 like, I don't have that many native tier 2s actually, or like Null, Sentry, Thanos and Scarlet Witch. All these 4 are crazy expensive, and Doctor Strange is a little less expensive, so I recommend every single new and beginner player or returning player to pick up Doctor Strange. Get this uniform, slap a rage on him. Artifact is not that necessary. Yeah, that's about all. So now I basically have to explain how a rage works, but if you already understood how a proc works, then this might be a little easier. Just give me a second. Alright, so I just checked my account and I do not have any regular rages. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit hard. But I think I can use Luna for explaining. Because the way a rage works is it increases your damage by a small number. It looks small, but it's huge. And it's the primary CTP you use on characters that are not proc friendly. And not proc friendly means you do not instant cancel everything into one. Oh, I missed that. So when you're playing Luna, you do not do that. Sure, you can use her as a proc friendly character. You can do that on every single character, but it's not the best way. What you want to do is 5, 4, 3, then 2, go around, and then 1. And then maybe the second skill charges again and you can go again. That's my way of playing Luna. You do not have to follow that, but that's just how I do it. And the thing with non-proc friendly characters, or unfriendly characters, I don't know how you call them, is that they're the perfect example of why you should use a rage. Because a rage activates once, but it does not deactivate. It stays there for 5 whole seconds. So you can do 5, then you can do 1, then you can do 4, then you can do 3, then 2, then 1 again. And the rage proc, it stays there. It does not disappear. This just it activates with a 20% chance when dealing a crit attack. On a Mighty Rage, this is different than a regular. And it increases basic damage by 0.9% per dodge rate, so your dodge rate has to be high. But I believe that there's a different rule on this. Yes, on crit rate. So it depends on which one you have kept. You can reroll this. The way you reroll it is to go to Manage Custom Gear. Then you look down here and you see Change option in the Reforge. Reforge means you want to try for a Mighty or Brilliant. I don't recommend this for new players. I think you should save your CTPs, except if you have Patiences and Transcendences. No, Patience or Transcendent CTPs. Those two are basically useless and should not be equipped on any character, that they're basically just wasting a slot for a good CTP. And if you go to Change option, here you can equip one and go down here, click on this and OK. That way every single option on this changes, either for the better or the worse. So if you have a good roll, then I would not go for the perfect roll. You can settle on a roll that's already good. Like I did with Scarlet Witch, no, not Scarlet Witch. Ooh, 200, 180, okay, so on Venom. So this could be 200 and the crit rate could be a bit higher, but that's an insane voice crack. So this could be 200 and this could be like 25 or above. But I don't really care that much about 20%, that's not that much for me. It's not really worth wasting like 20 obelisks on. So now I basically explained, wait no, let me just quickly go to the CTPs and to the Rage. So this is how it works, and I think I explained this, now I just have to basically just show it. So I'm gonna head into stage 1 of Black Swan, it does not matter that much. I'm gonna use Strange because he is a pretty proc friendly character. No, he is not a proc friendly character at all. Because you have to do some delay cancelling and the skills basically activate immediately, so you either have to be very fast or he's just not proc friendly. And up here on the left you will see this one. The second one is the one that you have to look at. If it's green, that means it activated. Why is it not activating? What the hell? Okay, no. How is it still not active? Come on. Okay, what the hell? Alright, finally activated. But you can see that now I can press different skills and it stays active. It did not disappear for 5 seconds. Now it activated again. And it just does not disappear while I press other skills. So if your character is proc friendly, then you optimally use a CTP of Energy, a CTP of Destruction, or proc. And if your character is not proc friendly, right, like Strange, like Luna, like Scarlet Witch, like Jean, like who? Rogue, I guess, but she is kind of proc friendly. I'm not sure about Rogue. Venom, he's a really good one. Hulk, Ghost Rider, Thor, all of these characters are very, very good for Rages. No, wait, no. I think I misspoke. These characters are good for Rages. It's Scarlet Witch, Jean, Strange, Hulk, Venom, Ghost Rider, and Thor. For Mighty Force. For yours, they're probably different. But not many people have that many Rages. So you have to use substitute. That's a hard word. You have to use something else that's cheaper. So my Thor, I have an Obelisk, which increases basic damage by 0.8, that can be 0.7, 0.8 or 0.9 per dodge rate or crit rate, that can also change. And the last one is not that important. How do I explain this? This is basically a Rage, but cheaper and a bit weaker, because it only has a 15% chance of appearing. But it's not that big on the attack. So this is 0.8, and a Rage, if you rolled it perfectly, is a 0.9. So it's not that much, but a Rage is still a lot better. But if you get very lucky, you can get like an obelisk. I don't know if I still have it. No. So this one basically increases damage by 1% instead of 0.8 or 0.9 per dodge rate, with a 15% chance of appearing, so it's basically a bit better than this. But it has poison damage and minor resist, so it's not that good for me. But for example, if you get this bottom green stat with HP increase on one of these, then you can realistically use that very well on Hulk. Because Hulk's damage, if you go to his skills, you can see that, for example, on his 5th skill, the physical damage is 50% of HP. So essentially, if you put... Where are they? If you put a physical... No, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the lesser one. This one. So if you put a physical attack onto Hulk, it does absolutely nothing. This is useless. This gives him 0% increase, because his damage is increased on HP. So for Hulk, if you do not have a rage, for example, you can put one of these. It can even be a 0.7, 0.8 or 0.9. But if it has HP and a rage, or mini rage proc, then it's very good on Hulk. On Thor, for example, you can use the lightning damage with the proc. That also really helps. On Ghost Rider, you can use a flame damage if that exists. So you can use a flame damage on him with a proc. No, not a proc. A rage. Mini rage proc. And that's essentially the difference between a rage and a proc. I hope I explained that well, but if you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. Even if they're like bad questions or you did not understand something I said, please ask. It helps the channel grow and I'm happy to help. Like, subscribe if this was helpful to you and you want more videos like this. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and I level 80 Dr. Doom for the new PvP game mode. I don't think I regret it, but he's still not good. He's still absolutely horrible. Anyways guys, I'll see you next time and have a great Mother's Day.